Hi everyone, welcome to Charmed Asana. My name is Charlotte. I do hope this video finds you well, just considering everything that's going on in the world right now. If you were with me last week, you know that we did a yoga session inspired by 2 oracle cards. This week we are going to do something similar, just around that same question. When we pulled the cards, Spirit asked us to focus on releasing some of our fears and anxieties. And this week we're going to do a pick a card style reading around that same question. So before we get started, I just want to say that this is an oracle card reading. When I was using my pendulum, Spirit kind of said don't worry about the tarot for this one. So this is oracle only. So I would like for you to think about something that you're dealing with right now that is causing you a lot of anxiety. Maybe it is the coronavirus. Maybe it's something else. Focus on that, and I want you to choose with your gut instinct a pile of cards in front of you. So we have group number 1 here on the left. In the center we have group number 2. And on the very right we have group number 3. If you would prefer, I will be placing some stones and you can choose that way. But pause the video as you need, and we'll go ahead and get started. But first, let me place the stones. All right, so for group number 1, we have this piece of tiger stone. For group number 2, we have this piece of obsidian. And for group number 3, the moonstone. So again, I would like for you to think about this fear, this anxiety, and pick a group in front of you. Group 1 with the tiger stone, 2 with the obsidian, or 3 with the moonstone. Timestamps will be down below. Again, pause as you need, and I will start us off with group number 1. All right, so group number 1, let's see what we have. All right, here we go. So the first card you'll notice is at the back, the fairies card. I did not look at these before I drew these cards and laid them out in front of you. This was actually the card that one of the 2 cards that we drew for our yoga session last week, so it's kind of amusing to me that it's showing up again. Then we have on the left, we have the disseminating moon, take time to breathe out. And the other moonology card that we have is the full moon in Taurus, your dreams need a practical plan. And then we have the great blue heron card, the rainbow lorikeet card, and since you can't quite see what that says, the renewal card. Okay, so, coming from an amateur, as I mentioned in my previous video, I'm very much an amateur when it comes to this divination stuff, but the fact that the fairies card is back again makes me want to link back to that previous video where we were releasing our fears and anxieties dealing with the coronavirus. And I feel like if you picked group number 1, especially if you're finding this video in late March, April, that was probably what you were thinking about when you chose group number 1. So overall, there's a feeling of pausing and taking a time out and taking some time to plan. That's the energy that I get from this group. It's not a scary energy, so don't be afraid about that. This is a very earth and foundation type energy, mostly because we have this Taurus card, but also the renewal red colored root chakra and the fairies card, but also the disseminating moon as well, because that is the time right after the full moon when we take a moment to pause and reflect upon what we've learned from the big energy of the full moon. And there's also the wading bird, the great blue heron. They move fairly slowly through the water as they hunt for prey. They don't strike. I mean, they strike quickly, but they're good at waiting, right? They'll wait for prey to come closer, and they'll wade slowly through the water. So this is, and water is our emotions, right? Water is always representative of our emotions, and it's kind of the sense that I get. Is it's high tide emotions right now, obviously, especially if you're coming again at this from around April. But we also need to pay attention. That's what the rainbow lorikeet is here for. So there's this whole don't worry about it, don't freak out. Take the time to plan, take the time to rest and relax, recuperate, stay healthy, but pay attention. Don't just sit around and do nothing. You want to be washing your hands, right? Please be washing your hands. Do the whole 6 feet distance between you and the person next to you. Social distancing if you can. All that fun stuff that the CDC keeps asking us all to do. So take those precautions and be aware of what's going on. But don't freak out about it. It's very earth foundation planning energy. And with the renewal card and the fairies card, there's the feeling of reconnecting to nature, reconnecting to the earth. So do some meditation, reconnecting to your foundations. You'll thank yourself in the future, I think. Take the time now to really practice meditation, especially if you're in the similar boat as me where we've been asked to stay at home. Whether or not you are remoting into work, take some time to just rest, relax, meditate, really think about why it is that you're so scared right now. It's normal. Don't think it's not normal to be afraid. It's definitely a normal reaction to something as huge as this pandemic. It's what it is. It's a pandemic that we are in right now. It is scary, but it will be okay. And honestly, getting the disseminating moon makes me think that maybe we have reached our peak, or we're very close to reaching the peak, and we're starting to abate the amount of cases that we're dealing with. Again, this really feels most like the coronavirus group, but if you're coming into this video and you're not thinking about the coronavirus, I also feel the sense of like a hostility between you and someone or something, whether that's another person, a friend you've had a disagreement with, a coworker, or maybe even the job itself. There's some kind of feeling of hostility or frustration, but it's not time to act on it. You need to think about what it is that's bothered you so much about either this person or this situation, and think about going forward. What is it that you want? What do you want to do? What would you like to do? Maybe what is the best action going forward? Again, be aware of the situation, but plan. Do some planning. So that's all I really have for group number 1. I know it's kind of a short message, but I do appreciate you taking a moment to join me on my practice with these oracle cards. I don't actually use these cards a whole lot, especially the chakra cards. I haven't used them a lot. So I appreciate you stopping by and practicing with me. I hope this was of some use to you, even as brief of a message as it was. But feel free to leave a like and maybe consider subscribing. I'm sure in the future I'll have longer messages. But otherwise, thank you so much, group number 1. I really hope you stay happy and healthy in the future, and I wish you all the best. Bye. Hey, group number 2. Okay, so let's have a look and see what we have. Ta-da! Magic. Okay, so we have, over here on the left, we have the New Moon card. A new start is coming. Over here, we have the Full Moon in Pisces, balance, spirituality, and practicality. We have the Golden Eagle card, the House Wren card, the Perfection card, and in the back we have the Crystals card. So as an amateur, and again, like I mentioned previously in my last video and with group number 1, I am very much an amateur with these oracle cards. But the overall sense that I get from this group is pretty positive and actually pretty magical. Whereas the last group was now's the time to pause, this group is more now's the time to move. Now's the time to stay practical, but it's also time to mind your words. Mostly from, you see how it looks like she's speaking in the background. She has like this ray of light coming from her mouth. So that makes me think more like watch your words when you move forward. The new moon and the full moon in Pisces, these are fairly excitable cards. That's the feeling I get. The fact that Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac and we have a new moon as well makes me think of a beginning and an ending of some kind. So whatever it is that you're anxious about, maybe that's a new job, maybe that's a new step in a relationship, whatever it might be, it's exciting, but it's also making you feel a little nervous. And I'll get to the main message from Spirit in a second and what it wants you to do. But let's look at the birds. The Golden Eagle card is seen as like a big message from Spirit. It's this ability to rise above your current issue, whatever the problem is that you're facing. You have that ability to rise above it, and Spirit believes that you can do it. And Spirit also wants you to know that you are strong and you're also protected. And the house wren is considered to be one of the luckiest birds, actually, in ornithomancy, I think. It's chatty during the breeding season, but that's kind of the only time you ever hear that bird, I believe. I don't think I hear it a whole lot during the rest of the year, but you do notice it during springtime, which is about now if you're watching this in late March, early April. This is the time to act. It's the early bird gets the worm bird. It's a very lucky time for you right now. So whatever it is that you're worried about, and honestly, I think it has something to do with this perfection card. So it feels like it's a fear of appearance. We want to seem cool or clever or good in front of people. We want to look good, right? We don't like it when people laugh at us. Nobody likes that feeling. But Spirit wants us to know, again, you are protected. And you do need to watch your words, remember that. But there's also I did get a little bit stumped. It felt like there was another message, so I did look into the guidebook, and there was an additional message saying, remain unattached to the outcome. So don't worry about that outcome, whatever it is that you're facing, whether that's a new project that you're dealing with or this new relationship, a new step in a relationship, a new position at your current job, or a completely new and exciting job. Don't worry about it. You are safe. Now is definitely the time to act. And there's a lot of happy, magical energy going on right now. And Spirit wants you to focus that energy. That's what crystals do. Crystals are very good at focusing our intention and our attention. And the other thing I noticed with the crystals card, here, let me grab it real fast and I'll bring it a little bit closer. Can you see these little stars leading out of the cave? That would make me think that you are being guided in whatever it is that you are dealing with. Oops. Whatever it is that you're dealing with right now, whatever anxiety you're facing, whatever fear is holding you back, you need to release it and you need to step forward. You need to take that leap of faith. Spirit wants us. That was something that we talked about in the last video. Spirit, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, whatever deity you worship, whatever energy, spirit you worship, place more trust in it. Even if that means placing more trust in yourself. Not everybody is a theist of any kind, and that's fine. But believe in yourself, believe in that higher power, and you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. All right? So I know this is a very brief message. I told you I'm an amateur, so this is all I had from this particular group. But I do hope that it was of some use to you. If you enjoyed this short message, please go ahead and leave a like, leave some words of encouragement, maybe consider subscribing. Hopefully in the future, if I keep moving forward with this, I feel like this is actually my group, which is amusing. In the future, hopefully I'll have longer messages, and hopefully I'll have more than 10 minutes on a data card to use. So again, thank you. Group number 2, I wish you the best. I wish you stay healthy during this time. I hope we see the end of this soon, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks very much. Bye, group number 2. Hi, group number 3. Okay, so let's have a look and see what cards we got. Magic. Okay, so we have... over here on the left, we have the full moon in Scorpio. It's time to release negativity. On the other side, over here on the right, we have the fixed moon. Hold your vision. For the birds oracle cards, we have the barn owl and the wild turkey. And then we have the creation card. And in the back, we have the autumnal equinox, release. Okay, so I mentioned it with the previous 2 groups and in my previous video, but I'll say it here as well for you guys. I am very much an amateur, so my messages are they're like tip of the iceberg level. There's probably a lot more going on in these cards than I can actually see, but we're just going to go with what I can see at the tip of the iceberg. And hopefully, as I continue with this practice, I'll get better at it. But anyway, so from an amateur, I get this feeling of being very magical in this group, number 3. But there's also a small sense of being stuck. Whatever it is that you are anxious about or afraid of, it's not so much fear, but it's just feeling trapped, feeling stuck where you are. It feels very magical because of this full moon in Scorpio. And also, I mean, the owl is seen as a very magical bird. And then, of course, there's this creation card right here. It says it on the card. But I say fixed. I mean, excuse me, I say stuck because of this fixed moon card. So there are three quadruplicities in astrology, and they are the cardinal, the mutable, and the fixed. And this is the fixed card. So the fixed signs, are Taurus in earth, Leo in fire, Aquarius in air, and Scorpio, right here, is the fixed water sign. They are stubborn. So I feel like, if I had to say, it's a feeling of being stuck, but kind of like a refusal to move on. I get more a feeling in the relationships aspect of your life, whether that's with another person or a situation. It's a relationship of some kind, whether that's with a friend, a significant other, or a job, or it's your attitude towards this other person and your relationship with them. So this full moon in Scorpio card, this is very much the stop worrying card. It's like I think I said that it's a dark and mysterious side of us. It's kind of like the shadow side of the moon, the darker side of the moon that we don't see. Obviously this is the full moon, so this is the side that we do see, but it's that darker, mysterious energy that we don't always acknowledge. And it may indicate that some kind of relationship needs to end. Again, whether that's with a person or a situation, apply it as you see fit. But there's this feeling of being stuck again. So you're feeling like you can't move on, and that might be from being stubborn yourself, more of you don't want to move on, maybe deep down, even if you don't admit that to yourself. I can absolutely relate to that. I know that feeling. And then with the birds card, so again, the owl, the barn owl, it's literally facing those fears. The barn owl has long been associated with death. And that's scary, right? That's a very scary thing. Nobody wants to die, and that is like the epitome of the human fear. So this barn owl is here to ask you to face that fear, whatever it happens to be. Whether that's the whole moving on from something, or a person, or relationship with a situation. It's also asking you to trust your inner voice. So trust yourself in this situation. If it feels like you should move on, you probably should move on. Just be sensible about it, right? We don't want to just quit a job or cut off a relationship. Don't ghost someone, right? It's not very nice. But don't stay stuck in this situation. We actually want to release here. We want to move on. We want to let go. These two cards are very autumnal cards. The turkey is always associated, for America at least, it's always seen as, the turkey. It's Turkey Day. It's Thanksgiving Day. It's a fall celebration. We want to let go of that feeling of being stuck. We want to let go. And I think I said it before, this creation card had me stumped, honestly. Again, I'm an amateur, so I wasn't entirely sure why it was popping up. So I'm actually going to read you the entry from the Chakra Wisdom Oracle guidebook that it comes with. So the creation card, letting go of old ideas and allowing new growth, are primary now. There's that release again, letting go, that release. The mission you have been on may be complete, and a new dawn is coming, and it is time to open yourself to divine inspiration. The message here is, let go. You no longer need to be the warrior. So, again, with the whole letting go, it's easy to play kind of like the victim mentality, right? It's easier to just whine and complain. I get that. I wholeheartedly get that. I've been in that situation myself. I could argue that I'm in that situation right now, honestly, where I just don't want to move on because I don't know. It's scary to think about what's next. It is frightening when you don't know, when you don't have something lined up for you. Like if you're thinking about leaving a job and you don't have anything waiting for you, you're more likely to stick with the crummy thing that you're doing right now, right? It's hard to let go. So you still need to release, but you also, again, need to be practical. Stay grounded. That's what the turkey's here for. Stay grounded. Also reminding you with this autumnal equinox to release, but to stay grounded. All right? So I know that my message is brief. Again, third time, I am an amateur. Hopefully in the future my messages will get longer and I'll also have more than 10 minutes that I can record on. That's my other issue that I'm dealing with right now, is I've only got 10 minutes to record at a time. So, but I do appreciate you stopping by for this brief message from Spirit. So thank you very much, group number 3. If you did find this helpful, please think about leaving a like, maybe some words of encouragement. Maybe subscribe if you want to. Hopefully in the future my videos will get longer and I'll have more to say. So again, thank you very much, group number 3. I wish you well in these trying times, and hopefully I will hear from you in the future. Bye, group number 3.